Soulful means something that's heartfelt, deep, and profound. To journey means to travel from one place to another. This show is about deep and heartfelt discussions about where we are, where we're headed, and where we've been. It's a place where we highlight memorable moments we've had. This show is about everything and everyone that is good for the soul.
Welcome to another edition of Soulful Journey. I am your host, Venus Jones, and I am so excited to be here with you in this moment. Let's take a deep breath together because after all, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So let's take care of the spirit. Take a deep breath. And just for 1 minute, let's focus on that breath. Feel yourself breathing in. Feel yourself breathing out without trying to control your pattern of breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. And notice how every breath is different from the next. It is the same with life, ever changing, ever evolving. Whatever is going through your mind right now, you can let it slip away. And just for this moment, come back to harmony. You are safe. You are accepted. You are forgiven. And you are loved. So let's begin. I want to start with something else that really speaks to the spirit, and that is laughter. When I'm with this next person who's on the show with us today, she makes me laugh. So I thought, okay, let me go back to the Sheroes book. I thought about doing good hair too, because I think of her and I think of good hair, and I did blow my hair out today. Hello, how y'all feeling that blowout? Let me know in the chat. I had to trim my edges and my ends. Okay. But when there's a poem here that I rarely do, but this spirit twin of mine, her name is Ayesha. And I like to begin the show with something that reminds me of the person that I'm sitting down with in a soul chat. And I'm gonna do this piece. It's I thought it would be a children's book at one time, but it's called "Have You Ever Laughed?" Have you ever laughed so hard it hurt the side of your lungs? So hard joy and pain become one. You couldn't stop and didn't care. You couldn't stay put in your chair. Have you ever lost your cool and resembled a kid in preschool? Just like a happy hyena. You caught the giggles and started to shake with glee, shucking and jiving like you were no more than the tender age of 3. Were you told that the proper lady doesn't laugh? She smiles, sighs politely, and grins. But heaven knows when I'm tickled, I cannot pretend. Laughter is my only goal. And eventually I begin to rock and roll. My face turns pink when chuckling upright. And then my body goes into a shock. It's not always a pretty sight. My laughter makes me look goofy. And I try to cover my mouth. And that's when it escapes and takes a much needed journey down south. You might as well call me Queen Doofus Doofy. And it's over then. I start to embarrass people. And laughter becomes my best and only friend. I begin to slide around on the floor because my knees get weak. Laugh until my arms, legs, and belly get sore and my eyes weep. Well, I'm rolling around, going into that knee-slapping, hysterical, I do mean berserk kind of fit. The joke is on me, and I try to fight it, but it won't quit. Well, somehow the joke It gets glued to my funny bone. And that's where every sense of humor roams. Now, when others laugh at your laughter, they might point and scream, "Hey, look!" Especially if your laugh sounds like a crook. Or like an owl. Or a hissing snake. And if your laugh just simply sounds fake. Ahar, 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 ahar. Oh boy, ahar, ahar, ahar. You know, laughter is like fingerprints, and each one is truly unique. If you've never laughed, I mean, really laughed, one day you are in for a treat. Don't forget to listen for the sound of laughter up and down the street. Remember, your laughter is the language that your soul speaks. Well, I also have a quote by Ethel Barrymore at the end of this poem, and it says, "You grow up the day you have your very first real laugh at yourself." From the Sheroes collection. And I am, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to my friend. She is a poet, a life coach, an entrepreneur, a homeschooler, a mom, and so much more. And like I said, she is truly one of my twins, one of my spirit twins. Please welcome Coach Ayesha. Hey, what's up, Chris? Did you like that lot?
I was back here cracking up.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to step back because it is time for you to have this whole screen to yourself. You can do a poem. I know you are known in Toastmaster community as well. It's up to you. You have about 5 minutes to share whatever it is you want to share. And then I'm going to come back and we'll talk about it. Okay. All right. So it's all on you right now. Okay. All right. I'm going to step back.
Yes. So I want to share this poem called Fly Like JG. All butterflies do not remember where cocoons hang. Some fly free, guided or misled. I've been touched by many with open wings, and one sound quake showed me exactly what it means. I'm a part of his story because he crossed my path when I was not so free, falling and catching himself on paths that I could never find reasons to follow. His grace unfamiliar, yet admirable. His curiosity entrapped me, while his spirit awakened my dreams too premature to cry out. He lives in the now for we who live later and miss out. I wish I was free then in his story, but I learned how to abandon my cocoon like my muse, never forgetting where it hangs. Fly like JG.
Hey, thank you so much, sis. You are such a butterfly. You are so fly. What does your shirt say?
Grace and hustle.
Hey, grace and hustle. That's just it.
That's what I do. What I receive, and what I do. And this shirt is actually a shirt that's made by my cousin's business. So she and her best friend started a business together. It's always great when you can have that synergy with someone and that trust. And it's Divine Design, and it can be found on Facebook or divinedesign.com.
Yes, you are so amazing. That poem, can you tell me more about that poem? What inspired that poem? Is that about like the creator giving you wings, or that's what I love my wing, but
actually it was about there we go again laughing. It was about a bad boy. So if you've ever been in love with a bad boy, then you know they have some kind of spunk. This wasn't a love affair. this was one of my homeboys. But they have some kind of spunk, some kind of that courage, that the audacity to live, to make a move, to make a decision. They have swag. They have all the right things that if you are like coward in a shell, that can open you up. And I had such a great friendship with another nerd. I went to a high school for nerds, North Carolina School of Science and Math. And he touched me in a way where I wanted to do more. He said, you know, I'm going to work on this music. I'm in the studio. I'm doing this. And I'm like, the person that I've become, being fearless and showing my talents and helping others and speaking, was because I've had people like him who touched me, where I used to be shy, but I learned that my voice and my opinion matters and is necessary. So when I meet other people who aren't as confident or have not developed or decided what their platform is, I just keep them encouraged, because you're necessary. You may not be where you want to be. You may not have the resources you need that's going to let you shine to your fullest, but you're necessary. And the only way that you're going to get better is to make those small steps. And the first step is to believe in yourself and to gain that confidence.
Indeed. And I'm so happy that you can be that for others, because like you said, sometimes when you're in the cocoon, you're not ready for that life, like that life of like being bold and making choices and knowing exactly where your next move is. It's more like, I'm not sure. What do you think? Right? Because we've all been there. I know I have. And I feel like I'm finally, you know, in my 40 somethings getting it, like, you know, hey, but right? Get out there. So yeah, like that's what I did get out of that poem. But I realized that sometimes we're walking around with God body and goddess like energy. And that's real. So but it's funny that that's what I thought, but it was about the bad boy. But sometimes we know that idea of dark and light and good and bad, it's all right, a lesson. There's something in there that reminds me of when I read this book called The Light Side of the Dark Chaser. Sometimes what we see in others is what we want to be. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it might clash. And even if you don't like that somebody's like all bold and telling everybody what you need to do, you be like, oh, they kind of like, they need to calm down with all that ego energy. But at the same time, you have to look at, okay, well, how is that serving them? And what can you learn from it though, right? Like, because every action, you know, some say in the East, there's no such thing as good or bad. It just is what it is. And then you put a lesson, right? So that's real. But I mean, I'm going to let you talk because you the life coach, and you know, you coach Ayesha Expandable Life. Let me ask you some questions. So I have some soul chat questions for you that are just like standard questions, because with this show, that's kind of what we do. But before that, I just wanted to ask, you know, I don't know if there's anything around you that has made you laugh in your office back there, or is there something you want to share that speaks to your soul that you keep near you? Do you have anything that's so encouragement?
Or something that makes me laugh? I laugh all day long. I have this picture right here, and it's funny because I remember being younger and wanting to have straight hair, and I actually do have natural hair, but my hair, so it's not pressed. It looks like it. And I remember wanting to have straight hair as I got older and get a perm and all, and not knowing that I was going to go back to natural, no chemicals. And also I didn't know I don't recall myself being so sassy or just having that oomph, and keeping these things around me and just going back and looking are helpful. So I have this picture of me, and of course it's the natural hair, not pressed, and hands on my hips. And this is something that my daughter does. She's always posing with her hands on her hips, ready for a picture. And when I think of her, I think of she's fearless. She doesn't hold back.
Okay.
And I wonder where in my life I told myself or something happened where I stopped holding back. And, I don't, in the last, I guess, this 18 years or so, I definitely stopped holding back. But there was a point where I just, that timidness, that it's not cute. It's not cute. I'm going to say that. To hold back and not let your light shine no matter who's around you, it's not cute. It's not okay. It's not going to work. And
look, I'm going to bring it back. It's not natural. Okay.
Right.
And speaking of pictures, sis, I mean, look at this. Do you remember this?
Ooh, I remember that.
Wait.
I remember that.
This is me and you in the back when was this DC when we were in DC?
DC, Split This Rock.
Split This Rock. Look at this, y'all. I mean, we just had met, and look, I don't know if we see all this was what year? I don't even know what year this was, but it's hard for people to see. But
it made, I'm gonna tell you,
like twins. Like we both had the same color hair. We didn't even know each other, but we just clicked just like this because Split This Rock, for those who don't know, Split This Rock is like this amazing international poetry festival, and that's how I met Ayesha.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that.
Yeah, it was so fun because we were just walking down the street, Ayesha, and I was like, I looked at you. I was like, almost like I was looking at myself. I looked at you. You looked at me. Do you remember? We was like, hey, and we was like, where are you going? And she was like, I was like, I'm going the same place or whatever. And then we've been friends ever since. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time you met me, or we met each other, I was in a transition, and in a transition and actually taking authority of a transition is what I'm good at doing. That was about 2004 or 2005, I feel like.
I think it was.
I don't know, because I was managing this retail shop, and then I was like, you know what, I'm working all these hours, but I got other things in my life to do, so I'm about to take this vacation. And that opened up some other things, and I think not too long after that I got laid off, and I was like, this is hilarious. this is funny. So I laugh about these things, like wouldn't that have to happen at this time?
Right.
And when I think about things that would make somebody cry or break down, you had done the hashtag pivot 2020, and I was like, that's it, because we all have things that happen in our life, and a lot of people are experiencing more so now in 2020 because of COVID and because of changes in work environments and changes in education, and of course changes in health. Number one, we are all experiencing these changes, but for me, the storm that people are experiencing in COVID, I had all of those, I feel like, at one time. My social economic situation changed when my marriage was ending, and I went through a separation, and I don't look like what I've been through. So that's number one. And what I decided was, oh, okay, this is gonna happen. And then the week I left, my Honda broke down. I said, how dare? And I said, but this is supposed to make me go back? A car? No. Car is man-made. It's temporary anyway. So why would I go back to a situation that I wasn't going to thrive in, and I was going to be teaching my daughter who and how to look for a partner and things to deal with. And that wasn't going to be healthy for her. And it was definitely about me, but it was definitely about her all at the same time. So it was a lot of pressure. When you are going through a change and the change is what you feel like happening to you. That's the thing. When you're not making the choice and it's happening to you, those are the people I want to help. The ones that are in transition and saying, well, this happened to me. You know, they're in feeling like a victim of their situation.
Well, and how do you help them? Like, I mean, whether it is moving to the pivot, where the pivot is a career change, a major relationship change, like maybe going from divorce to something more liberating, obviously, or even if it's a change in just in your attitude, like how do you pivot? You know, like is there like a story you could tell me of someone who has come to you for advice, and what would be the best advice you've given them that you know has gotten results for that person?
Well, I went away to a business conference last year, and that was about February, and that was the first time I think that I took a vacation, but it was business, away from my daughter in the last 3 years. And that gave me a chance to see, I know I can work as an employee. I know that. But I know that there's something that I need to do with all these skills, and not skills, but talents and gifts that God has given me. And so I went to this conference. It was a 10X conference. The third day, it was about marketing and sales as it applied to your skill or your interest. And the third day, I met a woman who I didn't even get permission to say her name, but she became my first coaching client. And I just needed somebody to take a picture of me and my 2-piece on the beach. And it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I went for a run, and I asked her. From that conversation and the rest of the day, since last February, she has leaned on me as a coach, and she's about 20 years my senior. She had been stuck had dealt with some health situations and in transition. And she said, I have pretty much opened her life. And it wasn't really, I believe that it was what I said, but it was the perspective that I had. So the things that happened 30 years ago, she remembers in her mind, and they're still impactful in a way. It's still a stuck feeling, a stuck attitude about it. It's instead of it being, I went through this, and it's like a domino effect. I went through this, and because of this, and because of this. And I mean, you could do that all day. When you get to a point where you say this, and this is a lesson, or this was a blessing in it, that's when you know you've overcome. We've all gone through some things, but she was stuck in that. And I had created a formula pretty much where you say, you know, I have or I am experience a blank. For me, I am or I was experiencing a loss of privacy. Whenever you go through a transition, you need all the help in the world, and you need to rely on public assistance. You need to just ask people for help, ask family for help. You know that loss of privacy, when you're a dignified woman, you shouldn't have to ask for help. And that's where I was in a transition.
Yeah.
So when I met her, I had already overcome that, and I could share with her a perspective and the formula that I use in regaining focus. Even though it was like 20 years old, she forgave her brother, and had been like a 30-year grudge that she had, 30-year grudge. She had, based on our conversations and my coaching, she was able to forgive him. She was just like, but this, and so she was not going to, in his time of need, she wasn't going to go and support him. And I was like, but that's for you.
Yes.
That's for you.
For us, right? All
right.
That. And I love that, but because what I'm hearing is that you help people find an awareness of like where they are. Because sometimes we don't, if you have to like know where you are to see where you're going, and as Maya would say, know where you've been. Mm-hmm. And that's what's real. And I want you to know that there's people chiming in. I don't know if you know but Al says perspective is key. Okay.
Oh, that's my mom. That's probably my mom.
Okay, well, yes, mommy is here, and she is chiming in. And I want you to know, she also said, and I didn't know what she meant by this, but she says, there she go. We'll take a plane, train, or automobile. Call us after she gets there. but but yeah, when y'all chime in, I might actually.
She's saying so I was a nomad at one point in my life. But I do still travel. So
yeah.
She was saying that in support of you and coming to see you. But yeah, I do be on the go. And then, it's best for me not even, I tell one person and I be gone and I be like, then I was like, yeah, I was here. And they were like, you was what? Or, because family care and they do worry and they are concerned and, female traveling. But I've learned to watch my back. One of the things.
I forgot about that because it's true. You were by yourself in DC.
And then I went and ate with you and your cousin.
That's right. We didn't even know us like that. But
from DC to Virginia. That's the risk I take. But guess what? If you never take the risk, when you never take the risk to want to step out and to travel and to go to events that pull your heart and then that can stretch you, you're gonna always be stuck and you're not gonna grow your friendships. That was like over 10 years.
And on that part right there, because let's talk about that, because some people are really tuning in because of this subject matter of how do you start over? And when I think about moving, you have been in different places in life, and I know sometimes the most stressful thing is just packing up your boxes, right?
No,
you don't think so?
Packing up boxes,
like some people say that moving is like one of the most stressful things, like getting rid of stuff, packing it up, figuring out like just get it done. But
no, for me, the most stressful part.
What?
Okay, so I recently moved. Now, it's so funny because, like, I have to say this. When in transition, my daughter was 2, and she had a mattress. It's a mattress that converts into, in a crib that converts into a bed. So my first place we stayed, I only took the mattress. I let my furniture. I don't know who was sleeping in my bed. I left the bed there with the ex. And and I didn't have any kitchen furniture, and I had stuff stored away, and I had that mattress. It's a smaller than a twin size mattress. So now we're in a 3-bedroom garage and all, and I was sleeping on the floor in my cousin's place, and then that didn't work out, and then a friend, and then I think I was in 3 places in 90 days. And so I say that in moving is a cleansing. And the fact that I didn't have a home that was mine, that had my name on it for 90 plus, for the time period that I didn't, and the struggle and all of that, like moving is a relief. It's a release. And so when I choose a home, because I rent, so I'm looking into real estate and I'm taking some advice about, renting versus buying a home. And because my mentality is kind of like, well, I want to move here. I've chosen streets because of where spiritually I was. Like this one place I stayed, it had the word peace in it. But when the peace was gone, that lease was up, I wasn't going to renew. And some people may think that's crazy, but when you can control it, and when you got the money, when you're not working 3 jobs, when all the transition I've been in, I don't really complain about those small things. Okay, yeah, the boxes. Okay, nobody can help me move at this hour, so I got to do this. And for me, I moved 2 different places, I believe, where I packed stuff in my Honda. I've since upgraded from the Honda, but I packed stuff in my Honda. And was packing. I was like, nobody can help me at this time. Whatever. And
I gotta slow you down, Ayesha, because listen, there's people who are listening who may find this even in the replay, and it's so easy for you and I to like cleanse and see it as a cleanse and letting go. But can you go back to a time where it was a little harder for you to let go? Okay, you love your friends, you loved your family, you loved your marriage or whatever. What got you in that courage to even go and say, you know, even if I have to go to this event alone in another city, in another country, if I go to Split Rock by myself, by my damn self, I don't care. I'm a woman. Somebody might say I'm not going to be safe. But what is it that speaks to you in your soul that gets you to that moment where to who you are and how you got to be where you are? Can you think about that?
So I know that there are people watching who are of different faiths. And I remember feeling that panic, that the panic I used to experience where I don't know my next move. And once you have overcome that, that's whether through your faith or through, I can't tell you honestly how to do that. But if you think about,
I think I saw your shirt, Race and Hustle, huh?
Yeah, but if you think about, you know, they say, you know, there's a difference, and I should know this, but you know, it's not coming to mind right now. But there's a difference of what's urgent and what's an emergency. And when you can distinguish the difference of what's urgent and what's an emergency, like my daughter, she'll come in my office and is there an emergency? And so when you can distinguish that, and with your faith, I started telling myself, and I don't know if it works, well, it's gonna work out. And that part is people can't see, they can't see it. So when you can't see something, there is a panic.
Okay.
There is a panic, but you can't be like a newborn that's crying for food and you don't know when the food is gonna come. There has to be a certain amount of maturity that you have to say, even though I have these boundaries or these barriers, what do I have? And that's what I always ask myself.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have? You know,
what do I have? And is it more important? Like, is me staying in this situation more important than the emergency of me going into that event or to this place or to this? What feels more urgent? I love that. Like asking yourself that question. Like, do you really, I guess on a scale, like maybe even like what feels more urgent? That's great.
I mean, and I'm saying that because I was the person in college, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. I would cry about it. What is the crying gonna do? What was it gonna do? Like, I remember I had hardwood floors. It was a 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate from college, and crying about something related to money. Now, you know, things are a little bit different where our resources aren't flipping. This is when you was using a phone book. You know, let me flip through the phone book because I need somebody to help me. But I always ask myself, what do I have left? Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't have, okay, but I have a phone. My phone can be used for access to this or to that. I'm going to give an example because during the transition that I was in, I needed to get assistance with childcare. So how can a parent work like I needed to work, like a lot of parents now during COVID who need to go to work and they don't have the option. Like now I'm at the point where we're homeschooling. We were homeschooling before COVID, so it's been a blessing. So my transition and starting over and my mindset change and things being possible prepared me for COVID. But I was going through a COVID storm, if that's to say, a storm that was like COVID, a panic before this year. And I've overcome that. So I remember going in and to what is one of these agencies that's supposed to help United Way. Well, you know, there's a local one. So I'm not going to diss the United Way, but a local one, and which is coincidentally is not open anymore. Maybe they weren't helpful. So I go in, I'm dignified, cute looking heels on. I never showed my hardship. and I'm not supposed to. And that's the thing. My mom told my daughter the other day, never let them see you sweat. I don't remember her telling me that or coaching me in that, but that's how I've responded. You're not going to see my hardship. I could have had, I don't have that anymore, 0 in the bank, but you're not going to see it. I'm going to go with dignity, and because like attract like, in that
iron sharpens iron, right? Yes.
Right. So even if I'm asking for help, I'm expecting grace to cover me, that I'm not looking so beat down that you don't want to help me. Because people in certain positions will not want to help you, and they are the ones who can check off funding for you when you are in a transition. So I went in and I was looking cute. They didn't even take me to the back, and I had my car was filled up with stuff from moving. It's still packed. My daughter was at childcare. I'm saying you couldn't see through my car in the parking lot. Rough. It looked like I lived in it, and it's not that I didn't have family who was there for me. So let me say that it's not that I didn't have family. Some transitions are ones. Not because of pride, because of whatever timing or circumstances, it happens that way. And sometimes you have to choose to not be the victim and then get comfortable with people helping you and rescuing you all the time. As an adult, everybody can't rescue you all the time. So they didn't even give me the dignity and respect to take me to the back. My daughter was in the city that they would give funding for childcare so that I can continue to go to work. And they pretty much dismissed me and said no. And I said, so you're not going to take me to, I had enough sense to know, even if I need help on paper, you're not going to disrespect me. And it's not, I'm not going to argue. And I'm not going to say that it's because of race. And I'm not going to say because I'm a minority as a woman or a single, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say what's on paper. On paper, whenever somebody comes through the door, you take them in the back and you discuss the situation. And then you talk about other resources outside of, that place ain't open no more for the United Way. They can't represent the United Way. Something went wrong. I see why. And it was a ministry. But
you have to remind yourself, though, when things go wrong, as a homeschooler, what do you have to remind yourself of?
Of a homeschooler?
Yeah, right. When you think you're
so
what do you remind yourself of as a homeschooler?
As a homeschooler, I have to remind myself that though this is a curriculum that I've chosen, and for those who are educating their kids virtually, that your lessons are not limited to the curriculum. Things like keeping your room together, etiquette, the way they carry themselves with their friends. That's one of the big things that we're doing now. And my daughter is taking a stand with friends because there's the social aspect of education and being able to communicate well so that someone knows where she stands. So even if you have a bad day, what feels like a bad day of them not paying attention to the curriculum, know that there is something beyond the curriculum. Like I teach her, I got her the Black Business School by Dr. Watkins. So I pay for that so she can learn about real estate and saving, investing. So there are 4 categories. So we could have a bad day in homeschooling, meaning she didn't finish the lessons I wanted her to. But right. Guess what? Past that, she's going to have to manage her life on her own in about 15, 20 years.
And sometimes yeah, but I feel you on that. And I just read something on the internet recently on one of my social media pages where someone had posted something where they said, if you want your child to know how to be an employee, that's cool. You might, pay them or give them rewards, cash rewards. Sometimes when I was growing up, I was paid for A's. For every A I got like money. So it was like something I strive for. But for some people, they pay their children for sure. And it's funny that you mentioned financial literacy. Some people there said though who are trying to teach their children not just to be employees, but to be entrepreneurs. They pay their children to read a book on financial literacy, right? Like
Right.
the one you're doing and
Right.
get it done, right? Like, and I love
Right.
that, like, because
So-
you are doing the curriculum is so important that we remind to the parents who are homeschooling the importance of choosing not just a curriculum that is given to them, but one that speaks to what you want your children to have. I love that.
And I want to add to that, we have started a family business, a public help desk. My background is IT. And so I recently hired a contractor, but whenever I tell her, yeah, I have to talk to our contractor, I have to talk to her about something. And she's like, Mom, it really, what did she say? She said something about, Mom, this is our business.
Okay.
Before it was official and I was telling her the idea, and I had told her, she's like, so can I be a manager? And so I remind her throughout the day, well, managers don't do that. And it may not even have anything to do with the business. And then she told me the other day that she fixed the virus on her laptop, which is great. Because really, whether it's coaching or whether it's tech, it's all problem solving. So teaching her to solve problems and not panic and not go, I have to run to somebody for them to solve my problem. I'm teaching her life skills through the business. And I think it's going to prepare her. Whereas
I know it will. And that is, someone says you're a good mommy. I think that's your mom saying you're a good mommy. A great teacher and a good if anyone has questions for Coach Ayesha, you can definitely type them in the chat. I'm going to ask her some more soul chat questions here. I want to ask you, is there a favorite quote that you love? Or this is something I'm getting more comfortable asking people. What do you want on your tombstone?
Wow. Okay, so my tombstone would be seen at the, eventually. When I think about the funeral, you're gonna see the tombstone before the, it would probably be something sarcastic, or it would probably be something like, if you didn't take the time, you missed out. Because if anybody comes to my funeral and they have a tear to share and I didn't know them, or they didn't get to know me and they had a connection with me, that's on you. Because my life is lived. So that's on you, not me. That's it.
Look, Mama, look.
Okay,
wait. Oh, you almost made me this.
Yes.
It's so real what you're saying. Oh my gosh. People need to take the time. Really, they do. They really do. And because I think about that so often, how we celebrate people after they're gone.
Don't do that now. Well, my grandma say, Ayesha now. That's what my grandma say. Especially if you got on a nice outfit. Now, speaking of funerals, let me say this. My daughter asked me, did I go to her funeral from somebody in my family who had passed away before her? And she's like, first she's like, I wish I was here. I didn't get to meet. She said, my uncle is my mom's brother. She said, I didn't get to meet him. And I said, you were born. She said, this was today.
Just today?
Yeah, she said, I didn't get to meet him. Did you go to the funeral? I said, yeah. And she said, did you eat? You know how you eat. And tell me, did you eat? I said, I could not stop while I was driving. Little girl, why are you thinking about food? Like,
That's okay. She keeping it real. She keeping it real, okay? Because she knows. So she's probably been to a funeral before, or she heard about the food being good. Okay.
I think I've only taken her to maybe 2 funerals, and one she only knew, and we didn't stay and eat. So I was like, maybe this is from like a Tyler Perry movie because she's seen a few to know, and you know, she's a fan of the theater, so you know she takes it all in, and she's starting TikTok videos and YouTube, and yeah, she takes it all in, and she's like, "Can I watch a movie? Can I watch something on my break from school?" I'm like, "Are you going to be a movie director? I need to know. Why do you need to? Why? Tell me. You know, I need because I need to know you're taking this in for what reason."
Yes.
And then she can give me a reason. We good.
Well, and it's good that you're in that conversation with her and just asking those deep questions, because it will help develop her character. And I know that I know she was trying to bust in on this conversation. Now we had last Tuesday, we had a young spirit bust in like, what's up? Like,
you think I'm not sitting here nervous that she that she might bust in. So no, you can't come in.
You already told her, like, these are the rules.
Right. I need to put a lock on my door.
Unless it's a major emergency, for real.
Right.
Because I heard you say that. Like, but I love it because, you know, sometimes we get what we need, and you know, you better than me because you brave. Because I don't know, one of my little mini me's, I can't imagine. But I love it, Ayesha. You are expanding life. You are with the expandable life. How can people get in contact with you, or how can they support you in the things that you're doing?
Okay, so I have my coaching website is Coach Ayesha, Coach AYESHA.com. There, if you put in your information, soon as you'll see a pop-up, you put in information, you can get access to a download I have. It's a 10-step how to leverage life, but I will have your contact information.
Okay. All right. Now here's the thing, you know, this is where we're coming into the home stretch here, and I want to have a little fun with you. I know you might have another. I know you're a poet, so I'm gonna always try to squeeze at least maybe one more poem out of you. I know you help people who are in transition. Do you have maybe something else that speaks to that maybe I could play the drum to? Thing on, or like we get real creative during this last segment. And I just want you to know, my husband, he did come in, Steve came in the chat and said that was actually 2008 when we met.
Excuse
me.
Yeah, I should know that. Yeah, but it's been at least 10 years.
Do you have any poetry books still? Or did you ever make a poetry book, or no?
Yeah, so I made a poetry book. It was now like 15 years ago. So I have a poetry chat book, and it was a combination of my photography and poetry, and it was chronological in that what I was going through, and it was like more emotional. So I don't write the same now. I write like a lot of speeches now through Toastmasters. And if you want to join the Toastmasters, that I'm the president of.
West Carolina, what's the name of your Toastmasters?
Seymour Johnson Toastmasters. So if you go to Toastmasters.com and then you say look for a club, or you could just go to our Facebook group. So we do have a Facebook group for Toastmasters, and it's
my actual real biological sister. She's the president of Toastmasters too. I can't wait for you two to meet.
Oh, yeah, really nice.
Yeah, but I want to do. Someone says poetry. So let's do if you got something that speaks to the champion or to heroes and sheroes. Because girl, my book came out 15 years ago too, and it's still going strong. So that's all good. You know, a book never dies. So you never know who still needs that book.
Right.
And I'm still gonna call you a poet, whether you see yourself as one or not.
Yeah, I be feeling like only a tech nowadays. I mean, I do write, and so I have my blog. If you connect with me on my website, then I will give you, if you only want the tech, and if you only want the poetry, if you only want the coaching. I am very multidisciplined, and I don't apologize for it.
Me neither, sis. It's good to be multifaceted, and it's good to also just always be becoming more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As Michelle Obama was saying, we're always becoming something.
So you can stop me with the drums. What I'll do is start with a piece that I wrote and I may freestyle. Or if you want to freestyle too.
Okay, all right.
So I can start and then I may go into.
Or do you want me to start with the drum first and then? Well, do you want something melodic? Like, see, I got two drums. I got this one. Or I got the djembe. What you want?
I think I want the djembe.
You want the djembe?
I think so. See, I can freestyle off.
You can freestyle off anything.
No. So no, not anything. What I'll do is I can start with this piece that I wrote, and then I'll follow the drums.
So here we go.
It's not about the pain, the path, or the people it took to get here. It's not about the hope for another wind that kept your mind clear. It will be the dirt underneath broken nails, the unkept hair which looks don't compare, and coming from places where living your dreams is rare. When fans come along, they will matter, but not enough to forget the weight of carrying a voice that has been shattered. I remember when I wasn't, and I was more like a ghost. I wanted to be hidden. I was so broken. Now, most of us are on social media, being free. That wasn't me. Just a few years ago, I was hidden like a ghost, not like most, not pretending. I was hurt, I was broken, I was broke. I never wished to return there because I didn't want anyone to know me, how free I could be, connecting other people's lives, saving other people. It is so selfish of me to have so many gifts God has given me, to keep them folded like origami. But I'm free.
I'm free.
There's nothing about me or my light that should be hidden. There's nothing about my journey that should be private. Because every step I've taken can impact someone. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you want to go. And I don't know how lost you are.
I don't know.
Whether you're broken, broke down, dreams shattered, or just plain broke. There's hope, but no one can actually put a picture to that.
There's hope.
We always say have hope. We really don't know what that means. The only way that you know what being hopeful means is being at your lowest. Being in four walls, a dark corner, wanting to quit, feeling like no one is counting on you, no one is calling your name, no one is needing you or needing your story. Those four walls don't own you or your story. You need to break free. You need to break free because it's not about you. I know you're broken and broke down and dreams shattered and just broke. But these soulful journeys we talk about did not just happen overnight. It is about a transition, like day and night, like good and bad, like hopeful and hopeless. And I hope that even in your hopeless state, you don't give up, that you don't feel like you have the audacity to take your life that can touch another one's, because one day, you can be.
One day, you can be free. Yes. Oh, dang. Free like me. I love it. Oh, that was amazing. We talk about a freestyle, and I just knew you would be about it. Thank you so much. I've been trying my best to get so many people to get free for me at the end of this, all the way live. We did it.
You know, we did it. And I haven't freestyle in like 10. So I freestyle around my house. No one can hear. This is the first time people have heard my freestyle in a long time. Let's
and it was fire. Oh,
sorry.
Yes. For all those who are afraid of what is to come, just still remember that this is a journey. Whatever is to come is to come. And so it is. And we got this, all right? Because we are here again, once again. Anyway, it's all about the spirit. So thank you for being such a bright light tonight, and for showing your spirit, like spirit twin, and for just being so willing to be open and share so much that you share with everyone. Again, you can catch Ayesha. Her website is in the chat. It is, again, what is it again? CoachAyesha.com. So check out.
Yeah, so
you can follow her on Instagram, I think. But yeah, so I'm excited. I have to say goodbye for now until we meet again, virtually or in person. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I just thank you. I'm honored for this opportunity. I thank you for thinking of me. I've been feeling like I'm working in a lab and not so, I guess, out there, but I guess you were seeing some of the things I've been posting. So I was like, what? So I just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for staying on me. My schedules stay busy. And, but yeah, I'm glad that you thought of me. So I have to say that I'm honored and I appreciate the stage.
Well, until next time, I love you much. And I want to thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe, click like, and share. Subscribe at venusjones.com for those Venusian updates, as well as subscribe at the YouTube page, Venus Jones. So I want you to sign up and just stay in a community with us. If there's someone you think that I should highlight, please let me know. Please be in conversation. Let us know what you liked most about the chat, as well as what you liked most about the show. Ayesha, and there's so many more Ayeshas out there, people just like her who we want to highlight. And I just want you all to know that our next guest will be the one and only Mr. Pringle. Elijah Pringle is our guest. He's an amazing international poet who's going to be our guest next week. And I can't wait to sit down with him. He's very insightful, and he has so much to share with you. So he'll be in the house all the way from New York. And I want to remember to tell you that I am sending you so much love and light to you, my friend, because I do my best to uphold and to just send love and light to those who mend, because you are so always divine. Just remember to keep looking up and keep looking out, because when you do, you will have a lot less fear and a lot less doubt. Just again, Don't forget to subscribe. I am going to be doing a keynote address at something called the Impossible Summit this Friday, if you want to check me out there. So just look hashtag the Impossible Summit and you can learn more. Again, my name is Venus Jones. I am an author, poet, and just your soul sister. How about that? And until next time, just remember to take care of your beautiful, beautiful self. And I guess that's all I wanted to say. And until then, well, until next time, just remember you are loved.